Okay, so let's talk about client avatars. So when you are starting a business and you're in a point where you're trying to work out who can be your customer, oftentimes the best way of going about it is to put together a client avatar. I think most of us who are watching this video have heard of that term. We know what a client avatar is. We know that we should be doing one, putting together everything. But I found when I first sat down and I had a document there and I was thinking to myself, what is my ideal client avatar? Who is the ideal person for my business to work with? The first answer that came to my head was just whoever had money, right? Whoever can pay me, man. They're my ideal client, whatever. I didn't really give it much thought, right? So then went into the marketplace and started to try and sell my service. And I found I wasn't really liking the clients that I was getting. The clients that were coming in weren't really the clients I wanted to be working with, right? And that can be a bit of a problem. You don't want clients that you don't want to work with because then it stops being fun. So things would happen like, I'd start advertising, I'd have prospects coming in and generating leads and coming into the business, and then I'd go and meet with them to go and speak and get to know them. It was a complete waste of time. It was stupid of me to do so because I hadn't seen if they actually were willing to buy. And, what would tend to happen is I'd be sitting in rooms full of people who are all smoking, or, they'd be sitting outside. They'd invite me to go for like a coffee or something. They'd have a meeting outside in a smoking area, in like a coffee shop. And then they try and sell me like a commission only deal. They're trying to then sell me. And I didn't like that. Didn't want to be working with people like that. So from that point on, not only did I start developing an ideal client avatar further and working out here's exactly the kind of person I want to be working with, I also went the other way as well. I also said who I don't want to be working with. I put together essentially a anti-ideal client avatar. And for the agency business, the anti-client that I didn't want to work with, the one I wanted to actively repel, I wanted to offend these people and get them out, was essentially Del Boy and Rodney from Only Fools and Horses. That was my anti-ideal client avatar. Didn't want to work with them. And this applies to your business too, right? There are people that you don't want to be working with. Your business isn't for everyone unless your name is like Coca-Cola or something like that. And if you're watching this video, I don't think it is. I think your business isn't as big as theirs and you're not in a mass consumer market, right? So I think it's then a thing of working out what customers do you hate working with? What customers do you just want to send away? You don't want those customers in your business. Who are they? I think that's a really important point because then not only will you start attracting the guys you do want, but you also get to send away the people you don't want. Really key. And I've started doing this in the education side of my business too, right? Different agency owners paying me to come for advice and get help, and everyone in it, apart from one guy because he's brand new in it, but everyone else has been making more money than they pay me from it. So I'm really happy about that. But at the same time, I've also had to start putting in ways again of kicking out those who aren't ideal clients, right? People who are just not good fits for it. People who, if they were listening to me, they weren't going to get value from it. So I started having to work out who those people are. So I don't have any courses or anything, right? I don't have any products that people can buy from me. And yet still I have people trying to pirate stuff from me. There are people trying to pirate stuff from me already, right? Which is a crazy thing. I have people, if you saw my WhatsApp chat, you saw the people who are, coming in and messaging me privately. It's nuts. There's some crazy stuff going on in my messages. There are plenty of people who'd be willing to take as much time as they potentially could from me, asking me to solve problems that they could easily Google themselves, but choose not to, just to essentially be vampires of my time, right? They want to just take as much as they can. And they've got no intention of ever, showing me they value that relationship with me or paying me for my expertise. They have no intention of doing so. And as such, I don't want to work with them. I want to offend those people and I want to send them on their way, because we're just not good fits. I'm not going to be able to provide them with the benefit that they're after, and they're not going to provide me, benefit in kind back. So, what's the point of us being together in that point? There isn't much, It's not for everyone. So, the difference was in the education side. The ideal client is someone who's young, smart, and ambitious, right? If someone is smart, they're ambitious and they know they want to grow their business and they understand, having seen my free stuff, they know that I can help them, then great, right fit to come on in. I want those people in. I want people I can have fun with, people who I enjoy speaking with, people who when I help them, they go and apply that stuff, they go and take massive action, they make loads of money as a result, and we have lots of fun in the process, right? It's enjoyable. I like talking to them. I'd go for coffee with these guys, right? If I saw them down the street, I'd hug them. Like, you know what I mean? These are people I want to be around. Compared to those who start sending me madness in my inbox, start texting me stuff about, just crazy stuff. Like, you can think of the kind of things, right? If it's very needy, if people are being very needy in my inbox, or if people are, trying to essentially convince me to start trying to sell to them, no, man, it's not a fit. Don't worry. Like, there's someone else. And I'll still try and help those people too, because I enjoy helping. So I'd rather send those people to something like, someone else's course, right? If there's someone's course who I know, maybe a lot bigger, right? A bigger course, maybe a better fit for them. If I know what they're trying to do, I'm happy to do that. Like, I don't want people who I can't help, because what's the point? If someone starts, that's so short-termist. Why do I want someone paying me who I can't help with my business? The business is there to help people. It's not there to make me money. Making money for me is a secondary thing. The primary bit is making sure that people benefit from the business. And if they're not benefiting, I don't want them. I know I keep on going over that point, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot. It's the same kind of thing of, we're talking about wanting to be around people who I can have fun with. At the same time, if people find, different things like offensive and they don't want to be having fun, it's all very serious, we've got to go and do business. Like, fuck off, man. I don't want to work with you. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, if we're not going to have like a light, fun time, there are other things I could be doing, right? It's also got to be enjoyable. So, but that's just me personally, right? This is just who I am. This is what I want to be doing in my business right now. Might not be like that in the future. I might change it in the future. But the point is, these kind of things refine over time, right? These kind of things improve as we carry on going. Because when I first did my ideal client avatar, it was very much just whoever can give me money. And look at where that got me. That got me into a point having conversations with Del Boy and Rodney. Or I'd get other people coming in who would think they could pay me £750 one time, and all of a sudden they'd have a drop shipping business that made them passive income, so they could quit their job immediately. It doesn't really work like that, does it? So I don't want those people. Compared to the clients I have now, after I said I don't want these type of people, but I do want these type of people, the clients I have now I love. I love working with them. They're really smart people. They're just really nice. They get along great. Their businesses aren't failing. Even before I came in, their businesses were thriving. They just want me to help take it further. So, those people, I love working with them. I'd go to, the ends of the earth and back for my clients because I like working with them. I mean, if I didn't like them, it'd be a whole different thing, right? But I enjoy working with my clients. So, and it's because of this process. It's because of having, sat down in a room on your own and just saying, who do I want to work with? I think is the key part to start with in all of this. Because without that, you're essentially just running around being very reactive. You're just going around saying, all right, cool, can this guy give me money? I just want money. And that makes for terrible situations where it changes the dynamic, and it makes the dynamic really weird when someone's trying to buy from you. Because they'll just essentially be qualifying you. And if you're saying, oh, we're seeing if this is a right fit, if you have nothing to qualify them by, you're just going to take them no matter what. The qualification is, can you pay me? And that's a bad qualification, especially if you're spending a lot of time with them, right? It's putting barriers up. It's moving away from pitching and instead moving towards screening and qualification. I've stopped pitching my services completely. I don't pitch to anyone. There's no pitching involved at all. I'm a lot happier for it, and I make more money from it. And I like the people I work with more, just from stopping pitching. It's as simple as that. It's really quite basic and quite fun, actually. So the way to really then improve the ideal client avatar, first of all, you can Google the form, right? You can Google ideal client avatar and you can go and find a form, go and print one out and start trying to fill it in. And your mind might go blank at first. It did for me. I didn't really know what to fill out. So what I then did after I, sat there and looked at it for a bit is I improved it over time. It's an iterative process. It gets better and it gets better and it gets better. The more experiences you have, the more you start making content for that ideal client and then start bringing them into the business. You can see if you actually do like working with them. Because there'll be certain elements you do like, maybe other elements you don't like. So then you can start refining your content around that. You can start making it so future content is then about who do I actually want to bring in? Who do I actually enjoy working with? And on top, the more important one I've actually found is who do I want to repel? Who do I need to make sure that these people leave, right? And that, it's not in a mean way. It's not in an aggressive or hostile way. It's just making it so that the environment is a place where they naturally elect to leave. They just choose. They go, look, this clearly isn't right for me. Example of this in my agency business is I charge for all creative work, right? So the second there's a bit of my own thinking going on, it costs money, right? It's not a charity; it's a business. And I want, this is a client consultant relationship. This isn't a charity. So if I'm having to give you my own bespoke thinking, I'm going to ask you to pay for it. And if you don't pay for it, you're disqualified as being a client. And it's as simple as that. That's not the kind of relationships I want. I'm not going to give proposals. I'm not going to sit there and do a whole bunch of work for free so that a prospect can gather as many different proposals as they can and then do nothing with them, right? That's not the business I'm in. So I very much changed it to work out if they're a fit in meeting one, charge them if they are, even if, if they start saying stuff that shows they're not someone you want to work with. I don't even offer the second meeting. I'm sorry, all right, cool, I'll just go and do this thing instead. Go and read this book, go and speak to this guy. I'll still help them out, but just, nothing where I'm financially compensated for it. And then at that point, at the end of this first meeting, at that point I charge. If you want to come in and want me to actually plan something out and want me to actually put down my own effort into your business, you've got to pay me for that, right? That's going to cost you money because that's a qualification thing, right? If they don't pay, I'm not bothered. That money, the money I charge in that isn't going into my pocket. It's going into my business, sure, but I'm not taking that money out. It's purely there as a qualification. It's purely there to say, are you someone who can pay me or are you not going to? If you're not, don't worry. If someone starts throwing up objections at that point, objections at the end of that meeting to then go and sit down and actually plan it with me for at cost. If I need to go and talk to my husband about it. You do that. See you later. I'm off. Right. So I don't want to work with those people. So I'm not going to start, treating those objections like they're serious. I'll just walk off. I'll just leave it. Right. And then if they are serious, they can come in. They can invest themselves. It does a whole bunch of other wonders for that. I'll cover that in a different video, but I'm really here just talking about ideal clients and why that's so important. So that's a really key point, because at that point, I'm not wasting my time with people who aren't going to pay me. And there's also a 100% success rate at the point of charging for that meeting to them actually becoming a client. And also the client relationship then is absolutely great because they're seeing me then as an expert, not as a vendor. And again, I'll cover that in a different video too. I've covered that with my group session students. They will love the topic. It's been a very important thing. Expert v vendor positioning is a really key element. But back onto the idea of ideal clients, right? It's very much saying the person who I want to work with is someone who values the relationship with me, is someone who sees me as an expert, isn't a vendor, not as a vendor. Someone who wants to grow their business, someone who's smart, someone who's level-headed, someone who really just gets they get it. They get what I'm trying to do. Fundamentally, it's quite a nuanced thing, but it's not just saying, oh yeah, it's Gary and he's 42 and he's got 2 kids and he's from Sussex. It's not that. Like, that's not what the ideal client's about. It's more about what's going on internally in their heads, I think, and the positioning they're in. Like, what position are they in and what problem are you solving for them? That's fundamentally where your ideal client really should be coming from, because from there you can start putting out thought leadership and start showing them content that shows that you can actually solve problems for them. And that starts attracting people into you, starts getting you inbound leads, people start coming to you. Positioning is just then great at that point. So I'm going to wrap it there because I've then got to go and leave. I've got to go and collect a visa for travel. So I'm going to go and do that. Hope you found this video useful. Let me know what you thought about it. I'm really interested to hear some comments on this topic. Let me know below. Tell me what you thought about it and we can have further discussions. I'm going to release more videos because I've got a little setup here. Going to put a little more content online because I think it's good for people to actually get some help like this. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day.